What's up, guys? This is what if Saitama trained Rizz. Now, the only reason I really came up with this idea was because I think he's got some Rizz in canon. I feel like it could be better, though. And yes, these are the main two girls he will be with, which I believe this is going to become an 18+, merely because I feel like it. It ain't a difficult one, it's just how I'm gonna put it. So we start off at the same point, whenever Saitama fought that crab dude. Now, he remembers it, but this is when he remembers one other thing. Right before he fought that crab dude, a chick straight up called him ugly. Like, straight up walked by and said, "That dude looks like a freak," while pointing at Saitama. Which kinda hurt his feelings. So, to get revenge, he decided he'd get the most Rizz and never be looked down upon by a woman again. That was his plan, at least. Seeing as Saitama he did the same training regimen. Although he would change his gear up. Because the only reason he has this costume is because it was given to him and it kind of just stuck. But in this version, he decided to go with more of this look because he thought it was better. Can't blame the guy, it is way better. Now, I'll grant, if he's fighting, he's dressed like, this is his everyday clothes. Now, he'll still wear that other costume because he has like 3 of them. He's waiting for them to all be destroyed, but he's never found someone strong enough to break them. Actually, he looks like this, but he still only wears this. Yeah, he looks menacing. And they don't call him Caped Baldy. Because, well, he basically just rizzes up every woman in the council. Like, literally, anytime he walks by, any woman will just see him and feel the Rizz. And that would just grant him the ability to get whatever nickname he wanted. He wasn't planning on going for anything special. He was thinking he'd just put the hero for fun. But instead, he got One Punch Man. Now, being that One Punch Man sounds awesome, he was fine with it. He was still a C class, but whenever he had fought the Deep Sea King, that was where everything changed. He was no longer C class, he was the One Punch Man, which is where he got the nickname One Punch Man. He one-shot a giant monster. And this is when he actually stated something with more smoothness. Hey, the association didn't mess up on that. They checked 2 scores. One is for the knowledge of certain things, and I don't really know much about these monsters. The other is about strength, something I maxed out. I deserve to get C class for one score on the first one. My physical score, they just up there. As he walked away, you hear women shouting how amazing he is, and it's just crazy since he just does that and walks away. Now, really, things really make a change whenever the first time they ratify Boros. That's when he has to deal with something. He sees how Boros appears, and Boros is ready to fucking swing. Does that make any sense? No. But when Boros saw Saitama walk in like this, he was a little bit surprised, to say the least. He wasn't expecting anyone to be able to rock ones with him, much less somebody easily rock ones with him. Now, everyone sees him in this fight, but in this version, Tatsumaki didn't show any disrespect. In fact, she actually complimented him when he showed up, saying it took guts for even a lower hero to be there. It was backhanded of a compliment, but still more of a compliment. Sorry about that, guys. It was still a compliment. So, while backhanded, it was still a compliment. Which meant it was very respectful, as much as she can be, at least. That's when this kind of thing would appear. Now, when Season 2 rolls around, we do get to see this happen. Like, Tsubaki comes in, her crew gets absolutely one-shot by him flexing too hard. Speed of Sound Sonic, sent flying. King is there too, whenever he meets King, but not yet. As we get to see him utterly one-shot everyone in his way, Tsubaki actually made a comment about how she needed him to join her crew. and how that she wanted him. This is when this would appear as Tsubaki, as Tatsumaki would appear with Fubuki right there. Tatsumaki wanted Saitama to herself. Fubuki wanted Saitama as well. In the end, they decided to share him. He said, "Genos, King, go out, grab me some snacks." "Yes, master." And King said, "Aye. How much?" As he basically handed them a fat wad of cash, saying, "Here you go. Now go grab stuff." As they basically would leave and go grab stuff. And these are two S-class heroes. It wasn't easy for them to go just errand shopping. They were bombarded by fans. Even though, like, hearing Demon Cyborg and the strongest man alive, those were the nicknames they have. And it's just crazy. It took them, like, all day to get the food. So Saitama spent them 2 hours making sweet love to these women. And yes, he was. Whenever everyone came back, you see a Saitama with a giant smile on his face. Ding! But still, he's still wearing his regular gear. As he would wake up and confused what's going on, as he would relax, and he wasn't really waking up, but like he was getting out of his like super. As he noted, yeah, they should be okay. They all took a shower. They got done. The other guys show up right after Saitama and them get dressed again. Saitama said, "Dang, I was really good on how much money to give them for time." They come back with this giant, like 40 bags worth of food. They set it down, and this is all snacks and stuff. And this is when Saitama realized he didn't hand them snack money. He handed them his bill money, and he was like, "Ah, shit." As he told Genos, "Hey, man, I don't think we can pay rent." "Why?" "Because I handed y'all my rent money, not my food money." "How different is it?" Well, as he handed out the food, as he showed how much food money was, it's like a fourth of what you handed us. Yeah, I wasn't really paying attention. Anyway, as Fubuki even said, "No matter." "What do you mean?" As Tatsumaki and her did something crazy. Fubuki and her group bought the apartment complex Saitama was living at and gave it to him. Tatsumaki bought the 3 around it and had them like built into a perfect structure for a castle for Saitama. As Saitama now has a castle, he's like, "Wait, how did that take so little time?" Basically, he's got a castle, and the apartment complex he was living at, sorry about that, guys, is turned into one giant mansion. She was like, "Whoa, how long did this take? I was gone for 3 hours." Since he was just, this would be whenever he went to do something else. He still likes grocery store, like, sales, which is what he went to deal with, which is what took him 3 hours. Because it was like 7 cities away. Actually, I'm going to say it was at the farthest city away from him. So him making it there was exhausting. But he did. The only reason it took him so long is because he rode the train instead of just running. Well, he ran there. He rode the train back. That took him forever. He got home. He sees what his house was. He was like, "Ah, shit. Where's all my money? Where's my place? What's happening?" As Fubuki and Tatsumaki would show him that this was his home. It's his property. Handing him the lease and everything. And was like, what? "Yeah, S-class make a lot of money." As this is when she would say, "And I'm the leader of a group. I make money to protect them, so I make a lot of money too." Comparison, how much? Around as much as Genos. As Genos states, "Master, do you see the amount of money I make?" "Yes." "See how 90% of that goes to my upgrades and the other 10% go to training, go to paying you for being my master?" "Wait, really, it's that much?" "Yes." "Holy you make 10 times what you hand me." "Nice." He said, wow. And a tenth of his paycheck is already twice mine. As this is when Saitama would proceed to kind of just try to he's in the B class now, which is pretty cool, but he wants to make A class. And Genos actually said he should be in S class. Tatsumaki even admitted it. He's stronger than she is by a lot, so he should be there. He said it wasn't that big of a deal and he can just work his way up. As King would even mention that he was stronger than even him, so there's no real point in being in anything, really. Like, he was stronger than the King kind of avatar that the King was. Like, even though King really wasn't that strong, as strong as everyone thinks he is, Saitama's stronger than that. Even though Saitama's feats are what give King his known strength, it doesn't really matter. As we get to see how strong Saitama truly is whenever he has to deal with that, like, fight. And he basically just uses rizz to get in there. He didn't even put on a wig. He basically just stood there with, like, true power. He one-shot everyone with ease. The last guy, he just did a spinning back kick whenever that dude was done doing all his crazy attacks. And then just launched him out the ring. Shattering the ring on impact. As Saitama stood there, as this dude was off, like, he was done. And Saitama didn't even hit him that hard. He just sent him flying. And when that one monster came, it still whooped everyone's ass. Until Saitama straight up one-shot it. Now, he still told this guy he should become a hero. And this dude's smarter than Saitama is, but he's not near as strong as he needs to be. He's still an A-class hero, at least. But I think they would proceed to give him A-class rank, like, 40. Actually, I think A-class rank 10 would be good. At this point, Saitama's A-class rank 7. After this whole event, Garo still happened. That centipede thing still happened. All that really happened easily. Saitama proceeds to pimp slap the fuck out of the Monster Association's strongest monster with ease. And he's actually recognized to be the strongest now. They start showing how strong he really is, as he's S-class rank 19, or yeah, I'm gonna say 19. Basically being the lowest S-class, as he would basically make a deal with them. If he could beat an S-class, he could get their rank, and everyone would go down by 1. They thought he was just gonna challenge, like, one of the weaker ones, like Putty Prisoner, maybe Genos. Nope. He challenged the guy right underneath King. Actually, I'm gonna say he would actually challenge... I'm gonna say he actually would wind up challenging Fubuki. And Fubuki would get everything she had into it, and Psychics would note how she was struggling. Like, she was bleeding from her head trying to stop him. And he was easily flat, like, acting like it was nothing. And he easily beat her. Actually, I think he'd go for Wolfang. Rank 4? Actually, I think he's, like, rank 3rd. But he would say him and Atomic Samurai, which basically meant he was fighting 2 characters stronger than anyone else. As he fought with them both at once, and he would beat them easily, they would wind up making him rank 2nd. But this is when Blast would finally appear back for a moment. He would finally have arrived back on Earth. And what does Blast say? To this challenge to become the number 1, to see who's the true number 1, he was fine with it. Gave it everything he had. Actually, he was holding back to be around where he was when he left. Then, he has to see how this guy is absolutely one-tapping that. He hits with everything he has for a few punches, noting that Saitama was literally not taking any damage, and he got one shot. As Blast was laid out, he was picked up by Saitama, taken to the medical ward as an apology. He told him he was sorry he hit him so hard, he wasn't trying to go all out. And he wasn't really going all out, but still. as you would get to see the difference in like sheer power. Saitama was asked if he would like to start a double S class rank, which only him would really be there. As this is when he would actually entrust some people to start training. He would actually wind up this is when Fubuki and Tatsumaki would actually have his kids. And this is when we get to see the difference. Tatsumaki had twins, and so did Fubuki. Unexpected, but yes. Fubuki were both boys. Tatsumaki were both girls. Tatsumaki's girls were actually very well off in, like, they were very powerful, kind of like psychics, while the boys were very physical, except for one. And they decided to name him Mob. Yes, I'm going to reference Mob Psych 100 in this. He was a psychic, but he also had crazy physical strength, almost as much as his father, and way more psychic than his mother. As he was the oldest out of all of them, though. Although he was more like Saitama, he didn't really have much talking skills. He was powerful, and he would wind up being the next double S class hero, as the other ones would wind up being S class, rank 1, 2, 3, and 4, but never able to make it to the double S class standard. What you have to do to become double S class is beat the number 1 S class. Easily. Keep in mind, when he became the number 1 S class, when the others became the number 1 S class, they saw the power difference. And even though, like, Mob was considerably stronger than most, he wasn't able to beat his father, who was the double S class. When he retired, Mob became the double S class. And in the end, things would keep going. And eventually God would fight. Saitama would have to deal with God. Mob tried fighting him, got sent flying. And this is Mob in his peak, who's considerably, I'd say roughly half as strong as Saitama. Actually, I'd say it's like 20 of blast. Maybe to make something power scale or something, I don't know. Saitama's infinite power, though, when he fought God, it was a 1-to-1 stalemate until Saitama one-shot God. Since God was just hitting Saitama as hard as he could until Saitama just one-shot him. As this was him coming out of retirement for once, and then sitting back down and relaxing in his old age, as he was done. And that's the end of the one-shot of What If Saitama Trained Rizz. One shot. 18+. Bye, guys.